Welcome to the Board of Directors presentation for Ugly Park Year 3 Progress, Profits, and Challenges. Our main objective here at Ugly Park is to have at least 1,000 guests in the park at the end of October Year 4 with a park rating of at least 600. We aim to accomplish this with the most help possible from our dedicated staff of 2,000 interns, our arborist team, and some nice Kickstarter backers. Among our peers in the theme park industry, we're known as the disruptors that are shaking up the way that things are ran. We've been known to crowdsource ride designs, use AI, use interns, and right now we're actually taking a ride design that we saw doodled on a Happy Meal menu. Some intern submitted it into our internal raffle. You submit a design, it gets picked, you get free lunch for a year. We don't provide lunch at our park to the interns. You have to bring your own lunch. However, if your ride gets picked, if your idea gets put into motion, you get free fries. Props to intern Jesse on this ride design suggestion. You know, I may have spoken too soon. This ride looks like it was designed by a 4-year-old with poor motor skills, so we're just going to try taking a little bit off the end and a little bit more. And you know what? We're just going to delete the entire thing. This was a terrible idea. No fries for anyone. I'm totally undoing that rule. It doesn't count. Let's try this again somewhere else. This 100% original idea that I just had that I didn't get from anyone else, so nobody gets free french fries, gets put over here. I completely designed this ride and it fits here perfectly. I think it's going to win a lot of awards, get a lot of attention, and most importantly, we don't have to credit anyone. This sort of innovation couldn't happen without the continued support of our board, so I'd like to thank you for helping us increase our loan from $19,000. You know, you don't start a great theme park with no money. We did have a Kickstarter, but that only covered the first $100,000, so I'd like to thank you for providing that extra $1,000 to push us up to $20,000. We will eventually have a profit. Just mark my words. This type of money, this type of support lets us continue building these amazing roller coasters, absolutely groundbreaking techniques, amazing wayfinding, and we're going to be producing some amazing studies this year, so just stay tuned. Speaking of studies and innovation, Andy on our arborist team pointed out that a lot of guests have been complaining about the litter in our park. So we've decided to promote Andy to a special part of the park for a test that we're running where Andy is confined to a small portion of land for the rest of his career at Ugly Park. And we're going to see if that has any type of improvement on the general park and the thoughts of the guests. Congratulations, Andy. It's time that we get to the root of a larger problem, and it's actually that the arborists have been conspiring against the leadership of the park. I know it's a little bit hard to take, but the best way that we've found to deal with this is to take them from their free-ranging aspects of the park and assign them very specific locations to maintain. I think it's going to address both the littering problem and the arborist conspiracy problem. By far the most ambitious test that we are going to be rolling out here at Ugly Park is the use of our what we're calling focus group region. This is a region to the north of the park that used to be an cherry blossom esplanade. We are turning that into what we're calling a focus group, where we're flooding it with all kinds of food and rain activities to lure people into a far portion of the park to see how much money we can extort from them by blocking them off and secluding them from the rest of the park. At this time, we're just offering food options there, and they're free to enter and exit as they please. This is something that's going to grow and change as time goes on in the park, so this is something that's going to be a long-term development. Right now, just for commercial gain, only one ride active. Up to this point, we haven't done very much marketing for the park, but we think it's crucial for the eventual success to start putting our name out there, letting people know that we're here, we're crowdfunded, we're disrupting, we're interesting, and we're very choose your own adventure. So come on in, get lost, lose yourself, find something great, come to Ugly Park. The park spiritual advisor told me that it seems that the chi of the park is getting really wound up at the entrance to the park, and that we need to draw the energy out into the furthest regions, the regions that get some foot traffic but not enough to justify there being paths there. So we're going to build that same design of the immersive, interesting, creative ride that I came up with over here, just to get some interest over in this part of the park, draw people out of that main area and disperse the crowds. It's crucial to the success of this park that we have enough foot traffic at every part of it to generate interest and to get people lost. We want people to get stuck and confused, so they have to buy maps. The success of this park entirely relies on selling a lot of maps. We have full profit from the maps. They were designed by an intern with a cartography degree. We actually print them in park. He draws them all by hand. So we sell them for $1.50, and you're trying to make as much money from that golden goose as possible before we have to start paying him. If you checked the checks and balances sheet for year 3, you would have noticed that we hired about 16 arborists in the course of one evening. I know we've all been there. You go on a bender and you realize that you have to get some operatives in there to see what the conspiracy is. So all of these buddies are going undercover. We gotta get down to the nitty-gritty, find out what the plots are, and squash them. I'm all about making sure that none of our secrets are getting leaked, and these spies spying on each other are getting down to the bottom of all of the evil plots going down in the park. So don't worry about it. We've got it covered. It was a genius idea. It came to me at a bar. It's wonderful. Don't worry, that money is going to good use. The haunted house is another draw to help us build up the focus group. That's going to come into play later. Like I said, year 4 is probably where we're going to put that to use, and it's going to help us build mass that we can lock in and see how much money we can drain at one time. Back on the note of redistributing energy throughout the park, I think this swinging inverter ship is a great thing to draw people out into the lower southwest portion of the park, just to draw some attention there, confuse and alienate the masses. It turns out that the crew that we brought in to infiltrate the arborists' plots and spy on one another is not actually very good at keeping the park clean, so we're gonna have to do that same tactic where we alienate them and separate them from one another so they can't be conspiring or chatting or slacking off on the job, generally socializing. So we're gonna start by putting this guy over here. Shout out if you could tell what I did wrong in this section. It's all good. I straightened it out eventually, but this guy is gonna be portioned over here on Puke Patrol. It's an honored position. Everyone wants to have it. But anyways, this guy's doing us a real solid over here. We're also putting some shops and consumerism options because this park is not turning a profit yet. But like I said, investors, we're working on it. The focus group region is a really important portion of the park, so we're gonna turn up our efforts in not only keeping it clean, but keeping it safe, because we're going to be confining a large amount of the audience and our guests to this very small region. We want to make sure that the benches stay in shape, the people stay happy, because the place is clean. You'll see why in a couple minutes, but for now, we've just got to set it all up so all the pieces work perfectly. Our profits don't come from rides, they come from consumer experiences. The entire packaging of our park, all of our products, that's where we draw our income from. So we have to make sure that we're charging the premium amount that relates to our superior in-park experiences around purchasing items. So just have to make sure that that's all in place for when we can find that focus group. They're going to be getting the top of the tier to get all of the best products and services. Now, you may be curious about the specific mechanics, the technical details of how the focus group works. So we set up the bait area full of these consumer experiences and these nice rides, and then we put up signposts that tell guests whether or not they can exit the area. After setting up these signposts and all of our lovely offerings, we tell the guests that they cannot leave the confined area. This is what we call a focus group, and we're going to see if it drives us mad money profits. That's our focus group model. We saw a little bit of returns. However, as soon as they're released from the focus group, the guests want to leave the park immediately. We're going to take some of the money earned from that and build an observatory tower, and just keep that in mind from the future. We're definitely going to do more testing in this group. We only get so much money from each guest. We've raised the amount of money it costs to get into the park. We're going to try to put up more consumer experiences where people can get food throughout the park. Those are the main learnings that we've got from year 3, and we're looking forward to year 4. We will turn a profit, mark my words. It's going to happen. Just gotta stay tuned and watch. Your investments are going to triple, my good friends. Anyways, thanks for being part of the board, and come back for year 4 returns. Excited to see you then. Bye!